Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of colour. So as you know, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of colour. So I love to go through ingredients lists and tell you whether or not those products are suitable for our skin. So as you know, one scratch, one bite, one burn, and we hyperpigment. And I actually put it on a jumper for you too, because you asked me to. The link is down below for the merchandise for Dr. V. But basically this whole channel is to make sure that you are using products that are safe for skin of color. When you go and buy products, you spend your hard-earned money. That's hours that you've used up to make that money, and then you want to spend it on products that you know are good for your skin. And unfortunately, the majority of products on the shelves were designed for Caucasian skin, often in the West, and exported to the rest of the world. I've even looked at products from India and other countries, and in fact, they tend to make the same mistakes. And so I think it is changing with education. A lot of formulators watch this channel and improve the formulas at their companies, and I also help do that behind the scenes to educate and ensure that we all get better skincare. But right now we're still not where I want to be with our skincare. So let's see what is suitable and what isn't suitable. Today we're doing Zein Obgai. You have asked me for this so many times. I've done the Obagi range before and now I'm doing Zoe just to make sure we've covered as much as possible. So if that sounds good to you, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, so starting off with the first product is Hydra Firm Eye Brightening Cream. So it's actually not a bad cream. They've used kojic dipalmitate as opposed to kojic acid, which is good because it's less irritating. And don't forget, the skin around the eye is only 0.3 millimeters thick. And so we don't want to do anything that's going to irritate the skin too much. They've used 1% retinol, which is probably going to be a little bit too much. I do prefer about 0.5% retinol, especially for this area. So see how you go with that. It does contain myristal myrostate, so I'd avoid this if you have acne, or just make sure it doesn't go anywhere near the cheek area. I'd say it's a very basic cream, to be honest. I think you'd probably be better off using the Paula's Choice 0.3% retinol plus vitamin C, and it's gonna be cheaper. The thing I like about this particular product is that it has no fragrance in it, no alcohol, and that's quite refreshing actually. So as in, I'm not against you using this product. You might find it a little bit too irritating because of the retinol, but is one of their better products. So the next product is called Power Defense. Really, this one's not a good product, I'm afraid. It's packed with skin sensitizers. It's got citrus peel extract, tangerine peel oil, mentha. It's got fragrance. It's got limonene in it. And the actives aren't great either. So retinol is about 2%, which is really high for skin of color. It's got vitamin E and retinol palmitate in it at about 1%, which is fine, but I just feel like that retinol is going to irritate a lot of people with skin of color. I think a lot of people will be fine with this product, but 2% is quite high. And don't forget, for me, I am all about 0% burns for skin of color, 0% PIH, 0% irritation. And so for that reason, I probably wouldn't say this one's Dr. V approved. Okay, so the next product is their Complexion Renewal pads. So the second ingredient here is denatured alcohol. As you know, this leads to free radicals in the skin. It's used as a solvent, but there are much better solvents out there that aren't going to create this havoc of free radicals in your skin, because free radicals leads to premature aging. It damages the collagen. It's just not worth it. You know, whatever you're trying to achieve, you're doing the opposite with denatured alcohol. It's just something that really should not be in skincare at all. It's something to avoid. And the fact that it's the second ingredient means it's very high up in the inky list. It means it's at a high percentage. And so, I mean, just on that alone, I would say no. But on top of that, they then put in glycolic acid. So now imagine you've almost ripped up the top layer of skin, and now you've put in glycolic acid, my least favorite AHA, which already by itself at high percentages can lead to hot spots and PIH. So you wouldn't put the two together ever in a combination. And then they also went and added skin sensitizers on top. So they've got fragrance, limonene, linalool, hexacinamol. They've got alpha isomethyl as well. So literally whole barrage of fragrance. I mean, I just avoid. Okay, so moving on to the next product is their Hydrating Cleanser. So they do use gentle surfactants, which I like. So they've got sodium coccyl isethionate, which is rare actually. We don't tend to work with that, but it's a very good gentle surfactant. And it's also got sodium methyl coccyl taurate as well. Both are derived from coconut and I'm happy with both. They've even got good humectants in it. So they've got glycerin, urea, they've got sodium hyaluronate, all excellent, great for skin of color. But they pack it with fragrance. They then put in limonene, linalool, and they've also put in irritating pigment, CI15985. I'm sure you already know this by now, but fragrance is the #1 cause of contact dermatitis. There's a delayed reaction. It happens years into the future. You could be wearing the same product for years and have no issue, and then suddenly you're irritated by that particular product. And then on top of that, it's a co-sensitizer to all the other ingredients in that product. So in my opinion, there is no place for fragrance in skincare. I do believe it's changing. I believe with education, it is changing, but I mean, just right now, it's on us to make sure we just don't put it on our skin or on our children's skin. It's just, there's no point, you know. It's a bit of a marketing gimmick, because the way our mind works is if something looks delicious, we think it's good for our skin, like food for your skin, but that's just not the case. You know, for example, whipped cream from Olay, or all these Satsuma creams, or like all these mint shower gels, you know, we smell it and we think it's good for us, but it isn't. It's bad for us. And so that's only going to happen through education, because instinctively we think it's good, and marketing also plays on that too. And then on top of that, we tend to have influencers and things who don't really understand skincare saying that they love it and it's good for your skin. And so all this together, you know, a whole industry of skincare with a ton of fragrance in it. I give it 12 months. I believe 12 months from now, we are going to see a very different line of skincare out there. But we're just talking about right now in 2020. Okay, so moving on to the next product is the Exfoliating Polish. Here they've got magnesium oxide crystals, which is a physical exfoliant. I do prefer chemical over physical, but this is quite a gentle one and I'm okay with this. However, they added a lot of fragrance in this. Limonene, linalool. In fact, there's more fragrance than actives. So there's more fragrance than even retinol palmitate and tetrahexyl decaloscorbate or vitamin C. I mean, avoid. The next product is the 10% vitamin C self-activating. So the third ingredient here is ascorbic acid, which means it's got a very low pH of about 2, which can be quite irritating for skin of color. And then they added limonene and citral in it. So imagine you've lowered the pH and now you've added irritants to the skin. It's just not a good combination. So there are much better vitamin C's out there. I would always say go for sodium ascorbyl phosphate or magnesium ascorbyl phosphate if you want water-based vitamin C's. If you want fat-soluble vitamin C's, tetrahexyl decaloscorbate, my absolute favorite. It gets into the dermis and helps restore collagen. So this one I don't think is great for skin of color. The next product I actually got quite excited about. It said 0.5% retinol, which, as you know, is a good percentage for skin of color without causing any irritation. So I thought, yes, this is going to be the product that I can tell everyone to go and buy. So I love that it's 0.5% retinol. It's got a school bar glucoside in it, which is also very good, but it's low at about 0.5%. So, you know, it's okay. But then they went and added alcohol, and they added lavandula oil. So that's your essential oil. Linalool, limonene, geraniol. These are all fragrances. Cumar and citral, all fragrances. And then they've also got ZMA's oil, which is 3 out of 5 on the comedogenic scale. Just ended up being a bit of a bum at this one as well. So sorry, this one's a no too. And the next product is the sunscreen, because you requested it on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do, at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic and at Skincare by Dr. V. I often ask you product suggestions so that I can put them into my YouTube videos. So you wanted this one, which is sunscreen plus primer SPF50. Now, as you know, SPF50 is really what we need for skin of color, because often we don't apply enough as it is, and then you don't want to start off at 30 and then only have 15 SPF 15 on your skin. I mean, we get melasma, we get pigmentation, we cannot afford any UV on our skin. So SPF 50 is really what we want to start with. On top of that, they put in retinol palmitate, which is your vitamin A, which I really would not recommend to wear during the day. This is something that you want to reserve for nighttime. And then they put in ascorbic acid. Don't forget, ascorbic acid's got a pH of about 2, which is very acidic, very low. And you don't do this during the day when UV is hitting the skin. So, I mean, if you want to wear ascorbic acid, there are better vitamin C's, but if you want to wear that, make sure, again, it's at nighttime. So I feel like I'm going to have a lot of negative comments in the video today. I think a lot of people use Zoe. It's a very expensive brand and it is backed by a lot of doctors. Now I'll tell you where the mismatch is. When I was at medical school, I didn't learn anything about ingredients. You don't know anything about formulations. You don't know anything about preservatives, solvents, actives, percentages. I mean, you just don't know about formulations. Then on the other side, the cosmetic formulator has never worked with skin. So they can give you rough guides based on specs that they get from the manufacturer on that particular ingredient, but they've never combined them and seen the result on skin. It's just not something that you would learn as a cosmetic formulator. And so the only way for me to learn both was to first become a doctor and then become a cosmetic formulator. So I became a bridge between the two so that I could then educate doctors on best formulas and also my cosmetic formulator on how it interacts with the skin and if there's reactions and what we need more of, what we need less of, etc. And I think this is where it kind of falls apart a little bit, because a doctor will basically read the marketing just like you will. They'll read the 0.5% retinol and think, okay, this is good for you. This is an eye brightening ingredient from Zoe. It must be good for you. But actually, you need to look at who the cosmetic formulator is. And really, you want the doctor to be the cosmetic formulator because you need that person to be the bridge between these two worlds. Otherwise, you end up with just marketing, which says a doctor's name on it, but the doctor themselves can't actually formulate and doesn't actually understand ingredients or what shouldn't be put on the skin or bad combinations. And I've done a lot of different videos, I mean, on this channel. I'm not going to say them now, but I mean, I'm sure you're going to watch them, and they're doctor-led brands, but I can tell you now that they are not the cosmetic formulator, because if they understood ingredients, they wouldn't do the products that have been made. They wouldn't do those combinations. So I feel like this is a bit of a revealing video, and I'm not sure exactly how you're going to take it. I'm not sure exactly how the whole industry is going to take it, but I feel like it has to be done and it has to be said, just because this then gives opportunity and space for the brand to tweak, learn and improve. You know, if you are watching and you do make the improvements that I recommend, I will 100% do another video for you endorsing the products, because the brand is an excellent brand. It's just that I feel like the formulas are not in keeping with the brand image. So hopefully that won't be taken too badly. I am in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every single video, so please do write down your comments below. If you've had a great experience with Zoe, I'm really happy for you. It's more that I want 0% reactions in skin of color, and I just have very high standards. So, you know, this is not, you know, I'm sure a lot of people have been fine with it, but it's more about making sure everyone is fine with it. Right, so please do download your free guide. The link is down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic and Skincare by Dr. V. And if there's any other videos you want me to make, please write them down below too. Thank you.